What's going on, everybody? Doc from Average Gamer Guys back yet again. This time bringing a little bit of Gears of War 4 and more updates. It seems like we're in update season. We had Halo Wars 2 just bring a big patch update. Just did a video on that. And jumping right into the Gears of War 4 March update. I'm actually going to have a little gameplay going on in the background of the two new maps. So speaking of the two new maps, this is a pretty big update. Glad to see Gears of War 4. This is something that I think they're going to continue kind of do every month. So it's cool to see the new updates for this. But jumping right in, we have two new maps, one old, one brand new, and we'll get some gameplay of both. But of the new one first, called Diner. And there's a cool video that the Gears team put out. I'll link that down below, as well as the official forum post that talks through all these updates, so you can read it in detail. But they describe this as being kind of the quintessential team tactical map, which I think is really interesting. So I jumped into it. It feels great. It's a really neat map. I really like the artistic style of Gears, and this map specifically really shows kind of the cool side of what they can do. You really have two kind of opposing fronts on this map. You have an outside kind of like parking lot area, which is very open, obviously good obstacles to be able to take cover behind and all that kind of stuff, but generally open, good sight lines. And then you have the inside portion of the diner, which is kind of like has mini lanes in and of itself. It has kind of a U shape to the front, and then kind of a back area where like the cooking would take place, and that's kind of like a mini circle back there. Really interesting. So we played King of the Hill, had a great time. Really cool map. Brand new to the series, and they said they were working on this map for like 18 months, refining it. No elevation changes, and they really wanted a distinct feel for this map. One initial playthrough, so again, no expert here, but it feels pretty good. It's a neat map. Look forward to playing it more. And while I'm on the subject, they do have it as well. So Diner and Old Town, which is a Gears of War 3 old favorite, back, and they have them set up in the developer playlist. So you'll rotate just through the two of those based on different game modes. You get additional experience as well as I think 20% credit boost. So that's really neat. I like that they do that. It kind of, again, promotes the maps, but also gets you to jump into that playlist and really just always be able to key up a match. I found a match really fast. Actually jumped into one that had like literally just started. Really cool. So Old Town. Another one, if you played Gears of War 3, this will be very familiar to you. Obviously a completely new artistic style for it. Kind of a lakeside front, really neat snow-covered map, but the same 3 lanes that you're familiar with. When I really got into the match, based on the King of the Hill setup, it really has you go into the two outsides. There's not much play in the middle, minus a little bit of peek over, and most of the time it was frag grenade spawn. So I would have liked maybe in King of Hill them maybe put one of the points just dead center in the middle to get you used to that third lane, especially if you haven't played the third Gears of War 3. Really kind of let you get in and check that out. But again, really cool map. Glad they brought it back. Again, artistic style, really neat. I've been a fan of a lot of what they've been able to do, and again, for a remaster essentially that we could kind of consider this, I think they did a great job. So another thing that a lot of people, again, the Gears team seems like they're doing a great job of listening to the community. So with this update on top of the two maps, we have some kind of community improvements. The first one really being ranked lobbies. This is something that I said from the beginning I thought was a little weird that they didn't have this. Not even necessarily so much even just for ranked, but the lobby system in general, where you would get matched up with a group of players, and then you could vote on a map, you could work your bonnies, you could look at your loadout, change your character honestly if you wanted to, and then when the match finished, you could just go back into the same lobby. And they really didn't do that up at the beginning of the game. You were like constantly just having to re-key up the same match. So it's nice to see them bringing in ranked lobbies where you can do all of that stuff. It won't key up until the matches are full. So obviously, if somebody leaves during that, they'll take, they'll do what they have to do there. But if they leave during the selection screen, it will continue to search until it finds the appropriate amount of players in order to start that match, which I think is good. It helps, every game you go into, especially ranked, for those of you that are part of the ranked community, having a fair and even match, not going in down a player, is important. So I think that was a really smart move. So it'll be cool to see. I didn't get a chance to jump into this lobby system, but I think with the way that they're showing it, and as long as it works, as they say, which I imagine it does, I think it's definitely a good improvement. And again, something that the community's been asking for a while. So nice to see them implement that, use it, and make it one of their things. The Nasher improvement is probably the second one. They've gotten a lot of feedback about not necessarily the damage output or anything like that, but there was some inconsistency with the Nasher when firing from up close. There's a video, again, it'll be linked down below in the forum post, you can go check it out. But it's really interesting to see how they had to, especially in older versions of the game, work around not having players be able to shoot literally through walls. Specifically, you're standing like right up next to it, or it essentially against the wall. So originally, the firing pattern actually came from kind of like near the buttstock of the weapon, and they were noticing when they did that, they used that same system, that up close, people weren't getting the real close, tight spread that they should have gotten, and therefore essentially weren't dealing as much damage with it. So they essentially revamped, they improved it. The spread now starts at the very end of the shotgun barrel, where it obviously should. And I don't think there's any issues currently with them worrying about people shooting through walls. So they made the appropriate updates there. So you should see more consistency, especially up close with the shotgun. Now, in the two games we played, we had this one guy on the other team who was absolutely surgical with this thing. And I think, the Nasher's always been a good weapon. So it'll be interesting to see if any other, kind of issues come up with this. But as it stands right now, again, the close quarters fight, I think, is going to be a lot better. So a welcome improvement. And again, just great that they're listening to the community. They also kind of teased a few things as far as what's coming out in the future and the rest of the month. They got a brand new legacy character that you can collect. Some more special gears packs are coming this month. So there's again other stuff to stay tuned into. They've got some community hubs, and again, link to the forum posts. You can check all that kind of stuff out. Again, they teased a little bit of it. And again, just some overall update notes. Just some other small other things that they're fixing. Just little fixes for case drops. For rare cases where a match could be stuck at the opening scoreboard. Some dialogue issues, other miscellaneous fixes and improvements. Export fixed an exploit allowing energy to be teleported to the teleported on War Machine. Just lots of little stuff that they've been updating, but obviously the biggest things being those Nasher improvements, the ranked lobbies, and then the two new maps. One additional thing just want to highlight as well, that isn't quite out yet, but is actually on its way, and is something that you can earn as far as the Gears Pro circuit, is going to be Phantom Weapon skins, which is kind of a returning favorite. Depending on the faction that you're playing as, they'll either be red or blue. They're kind of a phantom see-through color, and again, something the community was really asking for, and honestly, I've seen them. I'm actually looking at a picture of them right now. They are super cool, so I am going to attempt to earn some of these, but I will link the post for this as well down below. You got to do some specific things over the course of the next 2 weeks or so in order to pick up each of the versions for each of the different weapons. I think, let me look real quick here, I believe the first one is actually March 8th, so as soon as this goes up, we might just miss this first one. But in order to get the Hammerburst version, you need to watch Gears Fight Night at live.gearsofwar.com on March 8th. This continues. The Enforcer on the 15th and the Retro Lancer on the 22nd are all just simply watching, so that's kind of cool to do, as well as the Embar, Overkill, Torque, and Marska, Day 1 and Day 2s of the Atlantic City Open, also on live.gearsofwar.com. and the Lancer, Snub, and Drop Shot. So if you're just watching each of the 3 days of that, you're going to be able to pick up quite a few of these. You watch some of the Gears Fight Nights, you'll be able to pick up a couple of versions. And then the Nasher and the Long Shot, you'll have to do a little bit of playing, which is obviously probably right up in the league for a lot of people. For the Nasher, you're completing 2 escalation matches between the 14th and the 17th. Just need to complete 2, doesn't matter win, lose. Ranked, really doesn't matter. And then for the Long Shot, you just have to play on Saturday, March 11th in the Game Battles Map Testing Tournament. You don't have to win. Again, you just have to complete your first round. So some pretty cool stuff. And then lastly, Boom Shot and Bolt Hawk play on Sunday, March 19th, Game Battles 2K Tournament. Don't need to win. Just complete your first round. I think these are some really neat way to, again, get people kind of more into the competitive ranked scene a little bit. Allow them, obviously, to test their Game Battles map. And then just get people to get a little bit more into the professional community for this game, because it is pretty big. And again, if you haven't checked them out, again, I'll link that down below. The skins are absolutely sweet. So especially for like the Nasher and the Lancer, something that I use all the time just in regular multiplayer. Those will be really neat to throw on. And honestly, I think they're some of the cooler camos and relatively easy for the most part to pick up. So just wanted to do a quick update video again. Just wanted to show a little bit of the rounds, a little bit of me playing some of the different maps. A little rusty, haven't picked this game up too much, especially with Halo Wars 2 being out. But a lot of fun, feels really good, easy for me to get back into it. So if you haven't played this in a while, this is a great chance. Again, I do really enjoy these constant content updates, new maps. I just think that's a great way for them to go about it. Obviously, DLC is not the most preferable thing in the world, but if you're going to do it and you make it on a month-by-month basis, it pulls people in like me and a lot of you that are probably a little bit more casual gamers. Get back into the game, play a few rounds, maybe run some Horde on this map, and do some other stuff. I did also see that they are going to be doing kind of like weekly events based on certain different types of games that you like to play. So they're going to do like a versus event here, I think, starting next week, and then after that they're going to follow it up with a Horde event. Just probably some extra credits, some maybe skins, something like that. Really just to entice you to get back into the game and really play to whatever mode that you guys enjoy playing. So again, I think that's a great idea. I'm all about the support, and especially again listening to the community. That's huge for me. They're doing that. It seems like they really do care. They're trying to make quick, fast improvements to things that people are showing them and saying, hey, this really isn't working as it was intended or as we think it was. Maybe release the game to be intended because of XYZ, and so hopefully they'll fix it. And again, I think we see that a perfect example of that with the Nasher. And again, the new maps, pretty cool. I've had a chance to play around in them, so I definitely recommend hopping out there and getting into it. So we'll probably look to post this maybe a little bit more, maybe get some Horde in there. If you guys are fans of this game, let us know down below. Obviously, we got a lot of fans from Halo Wars 2, but we know that's not the only game you guys play, and just like you guys, it's not the only game that we do want to play. So we definitely do want to get in here and play a little bit more. And if you guys are more, versus or more Horde, let us know, and maybe we'll look to do maybe some of our best tips or something like that along those lines for these new maps or just this game in general. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please do subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. We also have the Average Gamer Guys Club on Xbox Live. Feel free to join that. Kind of get that community going, that discussion, and then just make it a good place to meet up and hang out with some people and play some games that you enjoy, whether it be Halo Wars 2, Gears of War 4, Call of Duty, whatever you guys like. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below, 1, if there's anything I missed, 2, if you're liking the new apps, had a chance to play them, and 3, just what your overall general feelings about the update in this game are. I've been Doc with Average Gamer Guys. Thank you so very much for checking this one out, and we will see you next time.